I don't know what Las Putas Asesinas collection is called, or Llamadas Telefónicas, but a series of collections of short stories in Spanish, and he certainly helped reinvent Latin American literature after the boom of the 60s.
Especially for English speakers, I think was, Spanish literature, or literature in Spanish, sort of ended with the boom. And so this was a sort of a wake-up call that there was this, whole world of writers and poets that are just now starting to be translated, where, there's some sort of lineage to the boom, but are inventing their own literature and things like that. So I think, and now this is open up to Javier Marias and Enrique Villamatas, and just a whole other sort of canon of writers.
And the other two that you mentioned are both Spaniards. It is exciting. So the listeners may look for desperate literature in one of Bolaño's works. What does it refer to, though? What is desperate literature? What do you feel it is, apart from the reference to a beloved author?
I think, and I would probably, each of the owners would probably have different answers to that, so it'd be interesting to hear the others. But I think of it as literature when you're sort of desperate, and that in literature you can find meaning in a sort of, there's sometimes seemingly meaningless existence that we have, and
so in one sense it would be a cure to desperation.
Or
a cure for desperation.
Or you can look, at how other people have sort of taken this desperation and expressed it in a way. Bolaño's writing is definitely an example of this.
What kind of books do you sell?
We sell all kinds of books. Our focus is used books, although we do have some new books, basically, so we can have some of our favorite authors in translation. But we sell books, we sell poetry, we sell books about travel, essays. We're really fond of noir, novelas negras.
And you're selling them in the three languages?
Yeah, we sell them primarily in English, Spanish, and French, but we also have books in Italian and German, and very few in Russian and Catalan and Hebrew. But the main three are Spanish, French, and English. Yeah.
Now, did you or your partner Corey or Craig have any prior relationship to Madrid?
Craig actually has spent some time here, and he had a friend who had worked at Petra's beforehand, and he had come to Madrid to buy Spanish books for Santorini, to sell in Santorini. So he had more of I think he had the most of a relationship out of all of us. I've been here very briefly.
And how did you meet your other two partners in this venture?
Corey has been a friend of mine for 10 years. We met in New York, and I met Craig through Corey, through maybe what you'd say like an international network of booksellers.
Well, I'm going to ask you much more about bookselling, but I'm going to turn to another bookseller in a different sense, Antonio Diaz. I noticed that in Desperate Literature, in Michael's bookshop, they're selling new books by small presses, beautiful editions, and among them are editions from the collections of Diaz and Pons. So could you, Antonio, tell us a little bit about the history of Diaz and Pons? How long has this small press existed?
Well, Diaz and Pons is a publishing house, an independent publishing house, that was founded at the end of 2012. That's 2 years ago, and was created by two old friends, Pedro Pons and Antonio Diaz, me. We know each other since we were 15, maybe 14, and we had this dream of creating a publishing house where we could publish those interesting books in essay, where you could find not only truths, but other ways of expressing and representing the world. We were talking some days ago about the relationship between Ortega y Gasset and Maria Zambrano.
Two major figures in Spanish thought.
And the first one thought that in Spain, as we hadn't the tradition of enlightenment, we don't have a tradition of knowledge.